Milan Harris talks about growing up in Philadelphia and watching her father have an influence on the neighborhood.
When I got out there and I started speaking to them, they was like, yo, she came from where we came from. Like, she from the trenches. And if she did it, I can do it too. And I was like, wow, that meant so much to me, because that's exactly why I do it. Because representation truly matters. Like, it was so important for me to get up there and tell my story. And when I was up there on that stage, I was telling them the real deal. Because a lot of them, they experienced what I experienced. They came from single parent homes. Some of them, they had fathers that were incarcerated. So they understood me so much. And I was able to give them the real deal. I was telling them a story. They was like, what was one of the biggest challenges you faced growing up? And I was like, one of the things that I faced growing up was like deciding who I was, because a lot of times people try to tell you who they want you to be. Like, I grew up in West Philadelphia down the bottom, and my dad was infamous for doing bad stuff. Like, he was a drug dealer, and he was a product of his environment. So he had a good heart, but he got caught up in the wrong things, like so many of our black men. So I was telling him how my father was, I was infamous for being his daughter. And you know, when you grew up in the hood, like, people praise people that do bad stuff. So when I was growing up, it was like, oh, that's his daughter, like, you good. Like, it was just like all like praise for doing something bad, right? So it was a struggle for me to like understand that.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Even though people are praising me for being his kid, knowing what's right and what's wrong and trying to do what's right. And one of the things that I always say is, like, I could have been a product of my environment, but I decided to become a product of my decisions. So that's what I really wanted to share with the kids today, because it's like, you can be a product. It's so easy to become a product of our environment. Like, sometimes we let other people dictate our life by what they speak over us. And I didn't want to do that. I was saying, like, I remember I was 11 and I was standing across the street from my house. I was on my neighbor's porch, and my dad, I seen his car driving up the street. So I'm standing on the porch and I'm just like standing there because I'm waiting for him to notice me. But he rode right past me. And when he drove past me, I'm looking like, wait, why would he drive past me? And then I turned around to like look at his car. His whole back window was shut out. So he was literally just getting shot at. Like, so someone was shooting at his car. But when he turned up my block, they stopped shooting at him, because like, if you're from our neighborhood, you know certain blocks not to drive up because it's just territorial, right? Once he turned up my block, the shooter just kept going straight. So when he drove past me, I turned and looked at his car, and his whole back windshield was shut out. I seen him park his car, and he hurried up and hopped out, and he ran through the alley, and he was like limping. And I remember the neighbors, so like a lot of the guys that he hung out with, they were right there. It was as if it was like a movie was playing. They hurried up and ran to his car and covered it. It was just like a movie played out. And I was 11 years old, and I just remember this like it was yesterday. And I don't even think he knows that I know this story, but just me thinking that this was normal because it was my life. And like really growing to understand, like, this is not normal. Like, this is not how a kid's supposed to live. Like, this is not an environment that we should have been succumbed to. But it really taught me, and it like gave me character, so I don't regret my past. It just helped me to know that you don't have to become a product of your environment. Like if you want better for yourself, you gotta go and get better, because it's always better. You gotta just go so hard. Marge, you said, oh my God, Marge, you never know that story? You never knew that story? Yeah, like, you just gotta go so hard to just like change your environment and change your circumstances. Like, you don't have to be a product of the things you experience. Like, try to use what you experience as a lesson to grow. Like, learn from it and grow from it. Whatever you go through, try to grow through it, okay? So that was what I was trying to inspire the kids to do, because like, it's just so easy to be like, it's so easy to have that mindset like, I will never be nothing, so I'm not even gonna try. But like, bro, like, you don't know how far you can get if you try. You just gotta try. And when you fail fast, but you just keep going, because it's okay to fail. Like, anyone that's successful, they didn't become successful by not failing. They became successful because they failed. Is this my ice? Thank you so much.
All right, got it.
Yes. They became successful because they were not afraid to fail. So you can't be afraid to fail. You just gotta try and keep trying and keep trying. Bro, I fell. I be saying I fail every day, but I fail at something like every day. Like, it's like, failure is a part of success. You can't have success without failure.
Thanks for tuning in to 9 Mag TV.